And we live. Welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Kast on this Victory Sunday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on social media platforms. I know it says Monday, but we started a day early, so I'm putting on the hoodie a day early. I don't care. Anywho, the Chiefs went out here and took care of business last night, 26-7. D-Mac, he got a little relief. You know what I'm saying? He caught himself a little break. He could have been sweating a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to McCole.
Yeah, shout out to McCole and our red
shout out
zone
to McCole.
offense.
It's a very good point. Shout out to McCole.
Yep. What's up with it, Taylor? Yeah, Harrison Butker did his thing, 4 field goals, Mr. Reliable still. Tyreek Hill didn't do much again. Sneed once again proving that he got snubbed with the All-Pro selection. He's proved his worth. So before we get into all that, my guy Country D-Mac down the screen for tonight. So fellas, man, how we feeling about last night after the victory?
Chuck, I'm sorry. You mentioned all pro corners. I saw somebody out there today that was a part of the all pro corner team that was getting bent over by Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Dobbs and company. That's what I saw today. I saw somebody.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, it looked bad for Dallas today. They looked like a fully unprepared football team out there for sure.
Hey Chuck, go out and then come back in.
Okay.
All right. Now go ahead, D-Man.
No. Yeah, I was obviously at the game freezing. I actually was not cold. I put in many layers and I was cool. Didn't have any issues from that aspect. Hey, what's up, everybody? Fortunately, thanks to Miko, they did not score that 36 number. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble. Yeah. I would have been in big trouble.
I was going to tell you, don't come in here without the ski mask on, though. Go get the ski mask real fast.
Nah, I got the afro right now. The ski mask would fit. But yeah, it was a great experience. That Colin Cowherd lies about the stadium not being loud. That was clearly not true. We had a lot of fun with that as well. Yeah, I mean, look, from start to finish, this team, especially the first offensive drive, obviously Miami chose to defer. Took the ball, went right down the field, put it in the end zone, set the tone right from there. And it was kind of just a route from there. It got a little touch go. Obviously, Tyreek Hill was able to create that big play. But outside of that, the game wasn't necessarily close from that point forward. And you got to give it credit to this offense, again, moving the ball very well, specifically. You saw the power run game get started. They had no problems throwing the ball outside of, a few drops here and there. And obviously the Miko Hardman stuff. But and the defense was once again excellent. Jerry Sneed was, just took Tyreek Hill's lunch money. Whether it was feinting to call him, make him a false start, or it was actually at the line, simply just not allowing him to get off. And obviously, Tua having to hold the ball just that extra beat was destructive for him. So it was a repeat from that with a little bit, or as a repeat of the Germany game with better offensive play. And ultimately, that's why the result was the way that it was. So handled business, and now we're moving on to the divisional round.
Yeah, what up, Jay? So, my good brother.
Whoa, yeah, your mic sound really crazy right now. Sorry, bro.
Country, go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts on the game, dog.
Okay, so I was in and out because I was watching it on at work. You know what I'm saying? So thank God it wasn't that busy. But yeah, the offensive performance looked better. They scored 2 touchdowns and a couple field goals, and Harrison Butker is the best kicker in the league so far this year. It's like no doubt about that. The defense, did they get 10 first downs in the entire game?
I believe they got exactly 10. They averaged 21 throughout this season. And again, a lot of that was in garbage time too.
Yeah, a lot of that was in garbage time. So I think a lot of people came out this game with a positive vibe about the entire team, not just the defense. We've been talking about the defense. Defense been doing what they've been doing. Offense looked a little bit more consistent. They looked a little bit more streamlined, which is something that we've been asking me and you personally since week 2, I think, or maybe even further back than that. But just streamline the offense. Rashee Rice is is about to be a name in this league. If he performs like this in the next round and the round after that, or he puts a couple more games like this together, he's going to be a name in this league. So, all in all, Travis Kelce showed up. It wasn't a Travis Kelce special, but he showed up enough to keep everybody honest. Pacheco is running hard. We are running the ball. Our identity in the middle of the season. And how about you like grades? Okay, so B minus all over.
B minus.
A B minus, yeah. Is that bad?
Okay. I mean, I think that's a little low. I think this team.
Plus, then okay, I'll go B
Yeah,
plus.
I'd go. I very legitimately feel like. I mean, so are we comparing them to where we
Definitely.
think is A plus the ceiling for this team this year, or are we comparing them to years past? I guess
A plus is probably like no flaws, like just no penalties, no drops, just just a good old fashioned ass whooping.
Then it probably is. My audio not good? Can you guys not hear me well?
No, I think you're good. Chuck,
Okay.
you good?
Yeah. Am I good?
All right, yeah, we can.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
hear you
You
well.
sound much
All right.
okay.
I'd say I think A minus. I truly do believe because the defense was flawless as far as I was concerned. And people are going to be like, oh, well, the Tyreek Hill play is the Tyreek Hill play. You're not going to hold guys like that to 0 points. Sometimes they're going to get you on a long drive, or sometimes they're just going to get you on one play. Sometimes that just happens. But holding that offense to 7 points, that's a flawless performance as far as I'm personally concerned. And Spags was spectacular from that perspective. So flawless from the defensive perspective. I think that you saw some inconsistencies, obviously, in the offense. The red zone performance could have been better, and obviously, the deep shots could have been better. I would say A minus from this perspective. I don't think that this team is necessarily a dominant team because I don't think the offense can be truly dominant. But the thing that would make it an A plus is if you hit on a few of those Miko deep shots, because then you would have had an explosive element to your game, or if you converted some of those red zone kind of opportunities. If you for whatever the penalty was called, if you take away the Juwan Taylor penalty that was a quote unquote block in the back where he got blocked into somebody else in the back, and you make that a touchdown, and you turn one of those other possessions to a touchdown, then that's a flawless performance as far as I'm concerned. That's an extra 8 points on the board. You're staring at a complete beatdown at that point. So that would be where I'd land with it to make it an A plus. But I understand why you would land more in the B range. So B minus, or I said B plus, A minus would be where I'd land as far as grade is concerned. But a very good performance that left me encouraged.
I'm the ultimate Chiefs optimist, so I have to be a little harder. just to keep it fair.
I think I'm a little harder too, man. I'm gonna give it like a B plus B type performance if we are to grade this game, and it's for these few reasons. Defense was very flawless. Like I didn't really see many mistakes, if any mistakes at all, from the defense. Like the only mistake made was McDuffie misjudged that dunk. But it is what it is. Like Tyreek made the play, got his funky ass touchdown. He's going to Cancun or wherever he's going to vacation afterwards. So there's that. But I'll say this, man. Offense, man, like red zone. First of all, we got to execute better in red zone, man. We can't be having Harrison Butker continue to kick a bunch of field goals, man. Like I know he's reliable. I know he depended on him a lot, but it's playoff time. You gotta execute, man. Like there's no room for error. Like you can do it against this team because all week long I said this Dolphins team is soft. The way their team is built, they not built for this type of football, this type of environment. If they was at home, then yeah, they might have had a bit of a better chance. But Trey, you always think I'm hating. Trey, you always think I'm hating on something. Anyway, man.
Quickly though, on that point that you on right now, do you think? I think they could beat Miami and Buffalo with field goals and a couple touchdowns. I think the only person that you have to score touchdowns against is Baltimore.
I'll say that's a fair assessment.
I agree and disagree at the same time, but I'll let Chuck keep going on where he was.
Go ahead. I just wanted to get that out before you went past it. But go ahead.
Right, because if we play Buffalo on the road, then I feel like we're gonna have to probably score a few more touchdowns in that one. Just be on the safe side with that, just because it is on the road. But on the other end,
You're mad headed.
McCole Hardman, man, you gotta get some LASIK, bro, or something, man. Like that was an excuse, but that ball tracking was so terrible last night. And I saw a few tweets talking about how Tyreek said in the past it's really hard to catch the football at night in Arrowhead Stadium. And then there was a chart saying like
I
receivers
was gonna
drop.
pull it up for you and talk about it a little bit.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying like there was like a chart saying that receivers drop the most passes in the Arrowhead Stadium at nighttime, but at the end of the day, no, McCole, you played for the organization long enough. You played here at home long enough. You played enough night games. We done seen you make plays at nighttime. Like, bro, I really ain't trying to hear all that. So, at the end of the day, man, like, just give Rashee Rice the majority of those stretch the field plays, man, if you can, because he seems to be the only guy that knows how to catch the ball with his hands and track the ball, tuck it in, make plays. He's the Yak King this year. So just give him as much work as you can.
I wouldn't stop throwing the ball to McCole though. I think I would continue to do that because they gotta respect it. I mean, he got to catch one, but they got to respect the ability that it can happen. Like, and Mahomes is willing to throw that ball, so don't stop the play. But yeah, he got to catch it at the same time. You feel?
It's like
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where
it's like Ricole. He doesn't have issue getting open down the field. When he runs down the field, he's getting behind the defense. That's not the issue. It's him just tracking the ball, finishing the route, getting to the spot, and catching the ball. That's what we got to get to next with him. Yeah. And he's been on his roster long enough to be better than that. So
no, we're not going to excuse McCole. McCole, you got to catch them balls, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if he caught them balls, we having a whole totally different conversation today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's locally and nationally. They having a whole different. It would probably be where has this been all year. That would probably be the topic of today.
And there's the chart.
Undoubtedly. And this is the chart that he was referring to that, per start time and home stadium, that as far as drop passes, that obviously KC leads as far as nighttime at over 10%. What that rate tells you, maybe that's a little bit noisy from that aspect. It's not something that's a one-to-one correlation, but it does appear, and it's also backed up by kind of narrative-wise, that there's an issue as far as tracking the ball sometimes, and whether it's too bright, whatever it is, et cetera, et cetera. For Miko, I thought that obviously there was an issue with him tracking it. And just off the top of my head, I didn't hear many times, or I couldn't recall many times in which he made a bunch of those catches down the field, specifically in Arrowhead at night. I've always, I pictured the Oakland game, sometimes during the day, like even the 2021 AFC Championship game versus the Bengals. I remember
the Baltimore game. He had that long one on Marcus Peters.
In the bank, he went crazy. I don't know if that's a bank thing or it's an Arrowhead thing. I don't know what the thing is. So I don't know what it is specifically about him.
Is that a preview of what's to come?
Well, look, but this is why the second part of the tweet was this. On effort-wise, playing through contact, that's always something that he's had an issue with. He can't do that. Because that's how you leave your quarterback out to dry and things get picked off as a result. So the effort has got to be better for some of this plays. Negative degree wind chill maybe had an effect on that, but that has to change to continue to get those targets. But I agree with you. Ultimately, they have to keep throwing them because the defense has to have that, respect of, hey, if you're going to send extra guys, if you're going to give the opportunity, we have guys that can get down the field, and we're going to take those chances because they can't afford not to take those chances when they're available to them, whether it's MVS, whether it's Justin Watson, whether it's Mecole Hardman. And I prefer to be Mecole Hardman because I actually do think that he's the best shot that we have out of any of those three right now, all things considered.
He's the fastest guy on the field.
Yeah, and Chuck, you obviously mentioned having Rashee Rice do that stuff. And yes, I'd love to see that type of maturity in Rashee Rice and allowing him the ability to, operate down the field more often. But I don't think they can afford to have him do that right now. The reason being is because he's too valuable in his current role. He's too valuable in the Juju role. We've seen it. He came out there, had 130 yards, 80 yards of which was off yak because he knows where to sit down in zones. He has the ability to run away from man coverage across the field. And right now, he is your most reliable target that is a wide receiver outside of Travis Kelce. So you can't necessarily use him in those deep shot aspects. You have to have other people stretch the field to allow him that room to work underneath. So from that aspect, and I think the offense, structurally speaking, operated the way it needed to. I think they could be a little bit better in the red zone, some different route combinations. But overall, they had the power run game rolling. They ran with the gap scheme. They had a nice little screen to get the ball in Mahomes' hands every once in a while. Mahomes was presented with good answers specifically because of Kelsey and Rice, and occasionally some good first downs to Richie James and Watson and Noah Gray and those guys chipping in as well. And they were able to move the ball effectively as a result. Obviously, the Dolphins were down a few significant players on defense, so that helped. And the challenge is only going to get tougher from that side of the ball here on out. But like I said, I was encouraged from the offensive perspective. I don't want the deep shots to stop because you have to connect on those. You have to find those explosive plays if you want to get past some of these teams.
You think he catches that if it was daytime and if it was a 325 game? You think he catches those?
I don't know. I can't say for certain.
What do you think? Is the lighting or the weather?
I don't know. I don't know because we saw him quit on the route to Blaine Gabbert. We saw him miss track a ball that Blaine Gabbert throw. I can't tell you for sure that the weather or the lights is something that changes it. I hope though that it does because we are going to need somebody to catch those passes.
He's just not a good football player. We just gotta hope he.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not.
I wouldn't go.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, he's objectively not a good wide receiver. He is a role-playing wide receiver, ideally, and right now we have to ask him to play a proper bigger role than you would like him to play.
Simple as that. But one last thing I got to critique on is I like how Isaiah Pacheco got 25 touches. Man, Trey, I swear he getting his feelings every time I say something. But anyway, I like how Isaiah Pacheco got 25 touches, right? The thing that I have an issue with is the doggone shot runs from the shotgun in the second half. Like, they kept pretty much trying to do it like on almost every first down. Like, it's predictable as heck, bro. Like, you're giving the defense an advantage. Like, run some more under center. Because I swear, every time we ran the ball under the center, that's when we had our most effective runs. Now, granted, there was some runs from the gun that was effective. Like, I think Pacheco got like 7 yards. And I think Pacheco got like 8 yards on another carry from the shotgun. But other than that, man, I feel like Pacheco could have had a little bit of a better night if we just run a few more plays from the shotgun. I mean, not from the shotgun, but from under center. So that's just a few of my critiques. So, but now I want to talk about another. I want to talk about how before my mic was got all jacked up, how Legere Sneed just put Tyreek Hill in the dirt. That was beautiful. I watched that rep like about, I don't know, like 25 times in a row because it was so great.
It was great. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, how could you not watch that a few times in a row? Because I think he couldn't get off the line. He couldn't go anywhere.
That's how you slow down Tyreek. That's a perfect way to slow down Tyreek, a fast wide receiver. Like,
can we have a quick conversation about Tyreek? Do you love or hate Tyreek?
I don't hate Tyreek. I mean,
I love Tyreek.
I get a laugh out of him trolling. Honestly,
he's done too much for the Chiefs. He's a player that one day should go in the Ring of Honor. I truly do believe that. He's done too much for this team, in my personal opinion, to not have love for him. Obviously, people get upset with the troll and everything. Some of that is him sticking up for his teammates. Some of that is just him doing promo on his podcast, and I'm cool with that. Wide receiver is always going to come with that outsized personality, and that that's part of what makes him great. So I don't have any hate for Tyreek. So that's just me personally, but I very much enjoyed because look, it's good competition. It's great storylines when somebody comes back. He got his revenge on Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie sticks him, and Sneed puts him in the dirt. That's fun. That's great competition. So I enjoyed it from both sides.
You know what's crazy? It was funny. Like, Trent McDuffie had another impactful play in his matchup. Like, remember the first matchup with Jeremy? He stripped Tyreek, and Mike Evers picked it up and he pitched out to Brian Cook.
It was almost the same play.
Yeah, it almost was. And then, but Tyler Tua, man, like I mentioned throughout the week, he was gonna throw a few hospital balls. He was gonna leave a wide receiver out the dry, and boy, did he leave Tyreek out the dry on that screen late in the game. That was a perfect target for Trent. Trent laid his ass out. That was beautiful. That's how you get somebody back after you give up a touchdown. That's how you finish it. So
I mean, Tyreek was due. It's only so long you can hold Tyreek out the end zone
Yeah, it's
before
tough. It's tough because you know what I'm
you
saying.
make
Like,
the smallest mistake. That's a touchdown for Tyreek Hill. We know.
because after that touch,
You know what I'm saying?
because
We
after that
know
touch,
better than anybody. But
yeah, because after that touchdown, we made the adjustment to make sure there was a safety over the top whenever Tyreek went in motion. Because when Tyreek just goes in motion and gets that running start, it's very difficult to stay one on one. So you got to have safety help over the top.
Yeah, I mean, they just caught us a little bit in the a poor position there, and I still want to see the all 22 on it just to see what exactly the defensive call was, if it was a zone or if it was supposed to be Trent picking him up and man. I assume since nobody ran with him, it's probably a zone call, but they also are pretty good at passing that stuff off. So
I think it
I
was
don't know
zone.
what it was exactly there, but Trent either didn't get enough depth or simply got ran past. Either way, obviously a mistake on his part, and unfortunately, that is the one weakness right now in Trent's game is that ball tracking down the field. It's very difficult for him to do at this current moment in time. Hopefully, that is something that he will get better with more experience being into the league, and that's something that you can get better at. I truly do believe so from a cornerback perspective. So, yeah, again, you guys said it. Elite player. Sometimes you're gonna get gap by those guys, and it happens.
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about the other side. After that performance, you're not giving Tua a 5th-year option, are you?
They kind of stuck, man. They really kind of stuck where they at right now. I mean, they might be in a position where they may have no choice but to pay to it. Now, the length of the contract is another thing, but just the position where they at in the draft and everything, I feel like Tua, they probably gonna be stuck with Tua. Like, what other option is out there?
He,
The
to me
bridge, the gap.
personally, yeah, I mean, I would if I were the Dolphins, because you're probably not going to get a better option right now out of there. I wouldn't extend them. I would simply just pick up that 5th-year option and then just see if you can, plan to replace them, but keep it rolling as far as what you got from that perspective. That's what I would do right now. But I don't know if that's necessarily the way that they're going to go. They seem very married to that idea. I think the real question is how married are the GM and McDaniel? Because if those two guys are kind of in lockstep, then I think that they are going to make the decision that McDaniel and his heart of hearts understands, which is that hey, this guy isn't really going to get us to the promised land. Similarly to how Shanahan looked at Jimmy G and was like, hey, we got a plan for somebody else to come in who we think is going to be better, leading to the Trey Lance option pick. So that would be my thoughts on that situation. Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you make like what veteran would? I don't know because what veteran out there is going to bridge the gap for another starter or some draft pick later on? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I just feel like the Dolphins they
John
don't have
Browning. What's the kid from
Jake Brown,
Cincinnati?
Jake Browning. Oh God,
Jake Browning.
Jake Brown.
Gene,
Russell
dude,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Oh my God, that could work for a year, maybe with
Yeah,
Tyreek and Waddle.
yeah, and it's not like Russell didn't even play bad this year. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even all his fault that the Broncos came up short in the playoffs and how they performed and everything. But I just feel like Dolphins they pretty much stuck, man. There's not many options. So,
Yeah.
but like I know one thing, man. I want to go back to the game real quick. Um, Mike McDaniel was kind of predictable with his play calling when he wanted to run the ball because it seemed like on the majority of the first downs, he kept trying to run that toss play from the pistol. Every time Tua lined up in the pistol, not they like 90% of the time or close to that, they ran a toss play to either A Chain or Mostert, and we was all over that. It's like, dog, it's dead, it's cooked. You got to do something else. And then they kept trying to run the little screen players with the little tosses out to the running backs, and we was on that too, man. Like he was just kind of predictable with his play calling.
Yeah, I mean what I'll say is this: the Dolphins' offense and the way that it's kind of built from a speed perspective is that it's when you can't line up and dominate somebody in the trenches, everything you do window dressing wise is only confusing to an undisciplined defense that doesn't have good coaching. If a disciplined defense with good coaching gets a hold of that and you can't physically push them around, it doesn't matter. And this applies to when we have to, if and when we have to face the Ravens. If we're not able to physically dominate them in the trenches, then we're going to have a long day. That's a reality of an offense trying to go up against a really good defense that is disciplined and fast and athletic and obviously can play with physicality. So the reality of the situation is you can do all the motions in the world. Spags figured out halfway through well, not even halfway through the Miami game. He figured it out from jump, when to time up those motions, what to do, what to, scout as far as when you guys have to attack, what gaps to attack, get to those landmarks, whether it's run or pass. And then you were able to destroy the Miami Dolphins offense. And there are only so many different permutations of motions that you can create off of that, Mike is very good at doing. But if you can't line up and beat guys up, eventually in football, it's going to catch up to you. And it happened to be in the first round against, this defense that is excellent, that is physical, that is fast, that is as well coached as possibly that you can, that can present all of the issues that have all the talent in the world that you had nothing to answer for. And that's a reality situation.
Trey out here trolling in the comments. I want to go to the first. I want to go to the first name, Justin Houston. Justin Houston, I saw him post what he did on his IG story. It's like, look, dog, like, yeah.
What did he say?
He said he thought Dolphin Smith held, you know what I'm saying? And then D-Mac, he brought it up to me in the chat saying that
I'll pull up the tweet right now.
like the D lineman already made a rip move, whatever. So in that case, you can't call a hold there, or hold's not gonna get called when you do that. So
this is the Justin Houston play that he ended up posting on his thing, and he was saying that Juwan Taylor or Donovan Smith held him. Whenever a defensive player does a rip move, it automatically negates it. And Nate Tice specifically tweeted out with the rule book. And again, this is an issue that it happens with anybody on Twitter. You don't know what you don't know. Nobody knows that about line play. Nobody studies it well enough. And that's why you always have to be very specific in who you listen to about offensive line and defensive line play, because people will have you look stupid out here otherwise. Just throwing clips all over the place. He did a rip move, so you can't get held on that.
Here's the key: if a guy used to play that position, he probably knows a little bit more than you.
Well, that's the issue. Justin Houston was the person that was put it on IG. You would think that Justin Houston knows that once he did the rip move, he can't get holding called on him.
I know, but I was listening to Jeff Schwartz and Mitch Schwartz and
they know.
Old linemen. They were like, "Yeah, you can't call that." So I think I would trust him a little bit more, even in these defensive guys, because they don't be knowing the playbook either. They don't be knowing the rules.
Jeff responded to the tweet, and I've seen him do it multiple times. He's tried to teach people that specific rule that a rip move negates holding, but he's like, I can't keep doing it. That's the reality of the situation. So it's, again, people just aren't going to want to hear what they want to hear. If somebody wants to go out there and say that the refs are the reason why the Dolphins couldn't get past their own 35-yard line, the Dolphins couldn't stop our run game or Rashee Rice the entirety of the day, or the Dolphins couldn't run the ball worth a damn, and Tua couldn't throw, sure, then it's the refs. God bless you. You enjoy your night.
Yeah, they only converted 1 third down the entire game. 1 third down. That's where they lost the game at. When it was third down, you couldn't convert, and you had to punt the ball all night long. Or on fourth downs, we just got you off the field, man. So I'm tired of people saying that we get the favoritism with the refs, bro. Because
what was that call going to change?
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
This is going to change the score. The better one 26-10 now instead of 6.
The better one was, Mahomes got his helmet changed when his helmet cracked. The ref told him to go off the field and change his helmet, and he got to go back without a timeout. Oh no. Even though we were already up by 2 scores, it was the third quarter. We didn't use that timeout the rest of the game, and we kicked a field goal anyway on that drive while we were in the red zone. It didn't matter. So that's what completely changed the game from people's perspective. But that is the perks of being a winning franchise, that you get the favoritism. And
they get all the calls.
Right. And like on that they call that blocking the back of Juwan Taylor, right? People was getting on him, and I'm like, first of all, whoever that defense end was for the Dolphins was, he pushed Juwan into Justin Houston. And so that's why the call was on Jawan, but that shouldn't have been called. That should not have been a penalty. And it took away Rashee Rice's would have been second touchdown of the night.
It was actually
So,
smart. If you don't get caught on it, it's smart play
yeah.
for
I
the
don't.
offense.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, for the defense.
yeah, I don't know what the rule is there technically. The ideal, aspect of that is, hey, it's behind the play. Rashee Rice is basically already in the end zone. The defender has no shot anyway. You could probably hold the flag off in that point, even if they had seen like people wouldn't have been like, "Oh, that clearly sprung him." No, he was behind him, so he didn't have a shot. So it is what it is from that aspect. Ultimately, obviously, didn't cost anything, and this also applies to the Miko holding. Ultimately, it fortunately didn't cost us anything, but you'd like to
No,
see a little bit better consistency in refereeing, but that's asking for a lot, unfortunately, in the NFL right now.
yeah, that was a
Yeah,
bad
fam,
no call because
the
he
ref was
definitely
looking
got
right
help.
at it. The ref looking right at the play. And he didn't throw the flag. Like, it's an obvious defensive hold. You gotta throw the flag right there. But whatever.
They so concerned about D-Mac and him being cold. D-Mac
Man,
didn't even get to take his shirt off. Like,
No,
he was 10 points away from that shirt. We got to make up another bet. We got to
no,
see D-Mac
no.
shirtless for some reason.
Nice try. Nice try. Uh, no, no. Look, I was very warm. I promise y'all. The heated vest, it was great. Like I did not feel cold at all when I actually went outside. So I felt, we prepared accordingly. We were good. Had a good time, man.
and
All
then y'all
right. So
migrate to the club level.
what was the most
Yeah.
essential part of your outfit?
Oh, the heated vest. Heated vest was amazing.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
I'd say the heated vest, and then I had the toe warmers on the inside because literally only my toes was a little bit cold during the first part of the tailgate, and then I put my toe warmers in. That was good.
Uh-oh.
Kyle, they always screwing Detroit, man. Ain't nothing
D-Mac
new.
paid off.
Score regulated. I need a little point shaving help, man. I need to keep on that 35, dog.
Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty, man. Who do you want to see next?
It really don't matter, honestly. I think we could beat whatever opponent it is, whether it's Houston, whether it's Buffalo. We got a chance. As long as the defense is playing great, we got a chance against anybody. So I don't care who it is next. I don't care if we got to go to Buffalo. I don't care if we get another home playoff game here. Shoot, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm good either way. I think obviously Buffalo would in Buffalo would be a little bit more difficult of a challenge just because I think they're playing a little bit better on both sides of the ball. But CJ Stroud, I think is incredibly dangerous quarterback in its own right, and obviously they got all those guys playing behind D'Amico very well. So it's going to be a difficult game either way, and specifically from a defensive perspective because we know what the offensive goals are and how they have to adjust accordingly. But it's this defense is excellent. I want to be very specific about that, but it's going to be a step up when you have these quarterbacks that can really create those second reaction plays because that's something that Tua obviously has no ability to, but still, even he was able to gain some yards on the ground. These quarterbacks, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, maybe somebody from the NFC side, these guys creating those second reaction plays are the things that can hurt this defense. And that doesn't mean that this defense all of a sudden is going to turn bad and look like the Browns because I don't believe that because I think that the specificity of the Browns defense and the way that they don't change the picture out of this outside the snap is going to be different for CJ Stroud going up either up against us or the Ravens because we're on the other side of the spectrum as far as being able to rotate those safeties, which we saw that diabolical thing that Spags did as far as going from 2 to 1 to 2 before the snap against 2 with the little ring around the rosy with the safeties, which is insane. But ultimately, though, that is going to put more points on the board for the opposing offense. And that means that this offense needs to either create more explosive plays or be better in the red zone to, win those games. Because I do believe that from here on out, these offenses are going to score more points than Miami Dolphins did.
Absolute facts, brother.
It's really
Oh,
it has to be Buffalo. Even though Houston reminds me of us like in 2018, the young and up and coming team who snuck in, they kind of beat people they weren't supposed to beat, and they might go on a little Cinderella run, but it has to be Buffalo. It has to be Buffalo, and then it has to be Baltimore after that to make this journey. If Pat Mahomes wins this Super Bowl going through Miami, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Frisco, or
Yeah,
whoever in the
I think it's
NFC,
San Fran. I think it's San
it,
Fran.
it, it's It has to be the greatest, one of the
call him
greatest
Frisco?
Super Bowl runs of all time. You said what?
You call him Frisco?
Yeah,
Who, San Fran?
you call something else?
No, I've never heard anybody call it Frisco. That's why I asked.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I mean, I heard people call him Frisco before.
I've never heard. That's why I asked. Interesting.
But yeah, I
yeah.
said the path has always been Miami, Buffalo, or Baltimore.
That's the best story, though. That's the best storyline for it.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, you go on the obviously you take out two, but and Tyreek will come back to Casey. But you go on the road and take out Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Like all that foolishness about road playoff games is done forever. It's done forever. It's over. Especially this Ravens team specifically. But yeah, it's over. It's done forever. And you completely own Buffalo. It's no, oh, we have to keep coming to Arrowhead. Wait till we finally get that one. No, that's done. Because we'll beat you in your house. You can't beat us in ours. You don't have a choice. That's complete ownership.
If you're Buffalo,
that's what Brady did to Peyton Manning in 06. Or yeah, 06. No, 05, 04. 04. Sorry. Go ahead, coach.
If you go into Buffalo in the playoffs versus Kansas City, are they already halfway beat? From like a mental standpoint. I mean, every time we play Buffalo in the playoffs, I think they like mentally already halfway beat.
I don't think so, because look, they got a number in the regular season. The playoffs, they kind of been knocking on the door. They kind of knocking on the door, you know what I'm saying? They actually really want to be us in the playoffs. I mean, it's been a while since they've done that, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they're mentally defeated from that standpoint.
I think their mental, mindset going into the game would be like, this is a weaker Chiefs team than we've ever played. We have the ability to get this done. I think that it would be their idea. But I don't know if that necessarily would hold up if
I need that video.
I don't know if that necessarily that was a funny time. I don't know if they necessarily if you get up to a great start, then that start to that mindset of, oh man, we've lost this team so many times. It doesn't matter what we did in the regular season. This team isn't as weak. Then you can probably have that start to creep in. But ultimately, I think that's going to be a 60-minute game where you got to beat those guys multiple times and put them away ultimately. And I'll say this also very quickly because I did tweet it out. I think Josh Reynolds could be a realistic free agency target. We've talked about this on multiple times that I don't really think that this number one wide receiver that everybody's talking about in free agency is going to materialize for Kansas City to go out there and get. So I think it's going to be somebody that's a little bit of a veteran guy on a cheaper deal. And I think Josh Reynolds is a guy that would fit that bill very well. He's making about $6 million a year. I don't think he's getting a significant range. 600-yard wide receiver, reliable hands, a bigger guy, can kind of, do multiple things on offense, good blocker. So I think that'd be a guy that would be a nice guy to sign in the offseason.
I saw your tweet. I saw that tweet before we went live. My thing is this: I think Jared Goff would vouch for him to stay in Detroit because that's one of his guys. Like they was teammates when they was with the Rams. Now they teammates with the Lions. I think Jared Goff would fight to keep Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, didn't we already have interest in Josh Reynolds one time when he left the Rams?
You said who?
Josh Reynolds. When he with the Rams or something?
Yeah, he was, but I don't know if we had him. I don't know if we had interest in him.
Yeah, I don't remember us having interest in him. I don't think.
Not off the top of my head, at least.
But that's one of Jared Goff's guys. I think he would really fight for him to stay in Detroit. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happen. And again, it's not like nobody will be asking for his services, so you'll have to compete.
Oh yeah, he definitely gonna get some calls. You know what I'm saying?
It's just not like I don't think that he's going to be, a double-digit a year type of guy. So I think it's going to be a reasonable price range. Hey,
for everybody thinking we're going to spend like this major money in free agency on a wide receiver, don't get your hopes up. We got a lot of I think they're going to prioritize getting their own guys first. So that means Sneed, and somehow over the last couple of weeks, I feel like Chris Jones is not completely out of the picture for some reason. He might be though, but
I've moved that way. I agree with you. I've come around because specifically him, the one line, him mentioning that he is chasing money that he lost. Like, I feel like that line just in and of itself shows me that his mindset may be a little bit of the grass is always not greener on the other side, and the way that I tried to go about this may not be the best way. So I've come back a little bit to that side where there is a possibility for Chris Jones to come back, and I agree with you. I don't think you're spending major money on a wide receiver at this current moment in time because I don't think that guy worthy of that is going to be out there. So the ability for you, and again, I'm not saying that this is for sure going to happen, but if you do cut a guy like, obviously you're going to cut MVS and save 11 million there. If you cut a guy like Justin Reed, save another 11 million there, and you're already going in with a significant amount of cap space, then you have the ability to keep a Sneed and keep a Jones and still have this defense relatively intact moving forward. So, and still have the money necessary to still make the minor moves, obviously, both on both sides of the ball, as far as depth is concerned, running backs, maybe pick up a tight end, again, veteran wide receiver from that aspect. Obviously, linebacker needs to be something to address, probably a veteran defensive tackle, though. Maybe they just bring back Mike Pennell because he's just playing very well now. So I don't know, but I think that there is actually a possibility that those two guys stay in Kansas City. And truthfully speaking, if you give me a defense that is around this level, headlined specifically by Sneed and Chris Jones, and obviously the guys that we know for sure are going to be back next year that are in contract. And then you also give me just one wide receiver, for the love of God, that can stretch the field and catch the ball beyond 20 yards. That's literally all this team needs, is the ability to catch the ball down the field, because then you have answers for whatever the defense gives you. Patrick Mahomes locked into a different level versus Miami. They sent blitz after blitz after blitz, and he knew exactly what to do, whether it was open or not, because sometimes it wasn't open. He just threw it away. He didn't take a sack. When it was open, he put it on time and on target, and guys got to catch it in those moments, obviously, and that unfortunately does apply to Travis well at times. But you just need one guy to track those deep shots, because I always say it's a deep ball passing. It is a wide receiver stat. You get a guy like, whether it's, I have my personal favorites, Brian Thomas, Xavier Rhodes. I do think that Keon Coleman is one of those guys as well. You get one of those guys that can go deep and catch those passes, haul those in, then you're cooking with grease as far as I'm concerned, because there's nothing that this offense can't get to from that aspect, because I do believe that they've understood what the power run game needs to be. They understand playing in 12 personnel. They understand now Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce funneling the underneath game through there. You just need that last explosive element.
Listen, I was laughing because, like, you mentioned how Fangio was sitting the blitz, man. And I was just laughing. I'm like, Fangio, what are you doing, man? Like, you
should have known better.
Play a little more zone, man. Stop playing.
I have to defend Fangio. I have to defend Fangio from this perspective. He didn't have any edge rushers. So he made the determination that my only way to force the issue is to say, and similar to what the Eagles did, I have to play tight man versus these guys, pray to God that they don't run away from me or get me over the top, which they haven't shown the ability to do and weren't able to, obviously, and that I can get the ball out of Mahomes' hands quickly enough to make it work. Because sitting back there in that zone didn't necessarily work, whether it was Mahomes converting or still finding those short passes that worked. And obviously they were able to run the ball effectively. So it was a bad situation for Fangio because of the personnel at that current moment in time. So I understand why that was the plan. It was probably the only one that he had a chance at, but Mahomes is too good. He's graduated far past the blitzing, and hope he doesn't solve it, unfortunately.
Nah, man. Listen to Des. Keep blitzing them. Send more guys.
I understand they did make, the personnel wasn't in his favor. I understand all that. But at some point, you just got to realize, like, look, this guy's too good, man. You just got a better chance of playing more zone and praying to God that Mahomes don't find a hole in the zone or the window to throw the ball to, So that's just my thing with it. Because every time you said, like 5, 6, or 7 guys, man, Mahomes, it was easy for him.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Super easy.
Yeah. Man. I think it's still a death sentence now, based on what we saw last night.
Hey, I was watching, bro, and I know I'm always off subject, but I was watching like 2018 highlights. If you could make a perfect Chiefs team, whose offense would you use in the Mahomes era? whose offense? And I got you. You got to go with the 23 defense. I think this is the best defense we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
Oh
not even
yeah,
close.
undoubtedly.
But
That's
Not
not
even close.
close.
what offense would you go with, and what defense? And do we need to throw special teams in there? What special teams would you go with?
Listen,
If you could,
I'm going 2018 offense all the way, bro. Like with Kareem Hunt before he got in
man,
trouble.
yeah,
Yeah,
dog.
Tyreek,
yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Sammy, Travis. Yeah, I got to go with that, bro.
22
Yes.
offense.
Here's the problem with this. It depends on what era you're playing in, because the defenses have actually shifted so much in between where we were in 2018 and what they've adjusted to and where we are, today. Because Patrick Mahomes single-handedly destroyed the league to changing into those two high shells from that aspect, and then he had to adjust accordingly and did that over the course of 2021. So all that being said, though, I think that 2018 team had answers for anything under the sun. It didn't matter if you wanted to play too high; they would still destroy you. What Kelsey could do underneath, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, everybody that you had on that team, it didn't matter. Mitch and Fish on the outside, the interior was still good enough. And Kareem Hunt at the running back position was still spectacular.
And we had Spencer Ware and DeAnthony Thomas just for shits and giggles.
Yep.
All the gadget guys.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Tyreek was returning kicks. It was like, hey, man.
I think you still have to go to the 2018 offense, but it is important to put into the context of so much has shifted from a defensive strategy perspective because of what Mahomes did to the NFL.
Ooh, what about coaching staffs, though? What about coaching staff?
I mean, of course. Did 2018 basically was it saying like EB?
When was Doug, Nagy, EB? When were they all here together? Wasn't it like
Doug
1 year?
16.
I think Doug left.
Doug
left
okay,
before
Doug was gone by then.
Doug was 16. Yeah, Doug was gone by then.
Yeah.
He was
got here.
Yeah, I mean,
we definitely ain't taking Bob Sutton.
Well, yeah, no, I mean the defensive side. No, in addition to obviously the defense being the best as far as probably talent and depth wise, I shouldn't probably as far as talent and depth wise in 2023, the defensive coaching staff has never been better either. Dave Merritt, and Joe Cullen under Steve Spagnuolo, that trio right there alone, just absolutely amazing. Just those three alone. So I wouldn't say anything outside of that. I mean, if you give me whatever coordinator that has EB at offensive coordinator, or whatever coach staff has EB at offensive coordinator, I'm good.
Yep, same here.
And put Nagy at quarterback coach, I don't have any problem with that either, because I think that dynamic works perfectly as much as you need to. So
yeah, it's a very limited role that he could be in. So I mean, I'm cool with that. If we need Matt Nagy on the coach staff, yeah, have him do something like that. Quarterback coach, just put him in a role where he's basically limited as much as
possible. We didn't think Nagy was a problem till he was a problem.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I've never been a fan of him, bro. Sorry.
Okay.
I will say that I didn't think that it would necessarily be this bad from a detail-oriented standpoint, because I thought that there was a level that Andy Reid was going to be able to maintain. But yeah, Nagy is a problem specifically for that issue. But I will say, I've always said that they need to add a little bit more outside of Andy Reid's tree from an offensive coaching staff perspective, just for fresh ideas, the passing concepts, just a little bit different things, just to spice up the offense. I think could be very useful as we continue on, and just give guys different looks. So that's something that I do believe that they should look to explore as they move into the next thing. And ultimately, whatever happens, again, even if they go on to win the Super Bowl, I say changes as far as offensive coaching staff are going to come down to whether Mahomes wants them to happen or not. And again, it's possible that he does, but we'll see what ends up happening. Corey said, give me Fisher and Schwartz with this interior off the line. Believe me, if you had Eric Fisher and Mitch Schwartz with this interior three, Mahomes would have 7 seconds to pass on every single play. Nobody would get through.
That might be a detriment at a point.
Mahomes could sit in a chair and do his taxes and read 3 novels before throwing the ball if he had that offensive line. I promise you.
Absolute facts.
What's the difference between regular season Pat Mahomes and playoff Mahomes? Because It's not the same guy.
It's
What
the
do y'all
focus.
think the difference is between regular season Pat and playoff Pat? I
It,
would say the first thing I would say there's the most you can tell. He definitely runs more in the
Yes,
playoffs.
absolutely. Yes,
And I think it's like a do or die. I'm not, you can crack my helmet. I'm trying to score. So
yes.
you definitely got to add the running. What else do
Which is
you
a
think is
which is
difference
a good thing
between?
in my which is a good thing in my opinion. He should have a toggle between regular season recklessness and playoff, determination from that aspect, in my personal opinion, because that is both for a longevity and an understanding which games matter the most. So running, I completely agree with you on that. I think
You
that
agree
there
with
is a
this one?
difference. Yeah, I think that he's more willing from a certain standpoint. But I think that what that goes into is he's just locked in on a different level from a mental processing standpoint. I think that there are times in which he gets bored with the regular season, and that's you don't like to hear that. That's also funny. You don't like to say that, but I think this also applies to a team that's in the middle of a dynasty. Also, sometimes that regular season getting up to that level is very difficult. Mahomes, when he processes at this level that you saw last night, nothing phases him, nothing throws him off. He understands he's locked in. All those notes that he's done throughout the entirety of the season, as far as film study is concerned, he's at his 100% level of his brain capacity and operating from that. So I think the mental side of the game, in addition to obviously the more willingness to run and put his body in harm's way, would be the two biggest things. Um, and yeah, I mean, competitiveness, the championship mentality, all of that shows up when the lights are brightest.
the chat pretty much said it all right there. And then like we've all watched Netflix Quarterback, and we saw how Bobby and Patrick approach, every quarter of the season leading
Yeah.
to the playoffs. And when the playoffs get here, it's just completely different. It's a different focus, a different mentality. Yeah, I mean, all this pretty much been said.
He's,
So
he's better than Tony Romo doing nothing
to Tony Romo,
as a quarterback.
Tony Romo is crazy, but
I
yeah,
just playoff Pat is just a marvel to watch. Like he's just,
Hmm.
it's different. It's another level.
Absolutely.
And the playoffs is already another season, but he goes. He even he's already the best guy. He's already the best quarterback in the league. He's the best player in the league. And then you see that guy go to another level, and it's like, wow. Like, hey man, enjoy it while it lasts, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Every single
we
second
are
you can.
watching a magician at work for real.
Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to go, last night. All things considered, all the the cold warnings and everything. I any chance that I can get to see that dude live, I'm gonna certainly take it. But that you say that obviously he's the best in the game and then he can take it to a different level. It's because he can have that other level. That because even when he's quote unquote on cruise control, he can be at the level of others, of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then he has that extra, hey, I'm going to Jordan level while I'm taking this whole thing over and I'm single-handedly being that difference maker when it matters the most, and I'm head and shoulders better than everybody else on the floor. That's what he possesses, and that's what all-time athletes possess, and that's what he's got.
yeah,
I wish he was with Nike because they would have a better slogan than Adidas.
Yeah, man. Adidas,
Adidas
look, I
doesn't
get it,
market him. This is a
and I
PSA.
like.
My bad,
I'm
bro.
a
These are my
okay.
thoughts and my
You
thoughts
go first, and
alone.
then I'm gonna go after.
It doesn't
Go ahead.
reflect the King Test or anybody associated. Adidas, this is the greatest player in the NFL, the face of the league. Stop, son. He does everything. He's marketable. He can talk. He looks good. He's married. He's got kids. He's a family guy. He does everything right. Why aren't you marketing him better? Why? Go to Nike, Pat. Please. Please. Just go to Nike.
I'm a
Go
sound
to
like Kanye a
Fila.
little
They
bit.
can do Fila
I
can
I
do better.
like I like some of Adidas's stuff that they do with Patrick. I like the shoe line, the colorways. It's nice. They don't know enough about aura, dog. They don't. It's just not. It's not enough. Whenever you see a good Nike ad, you can picture it. When you see a great Nike commercial, you're just like, damn, that hits. It hits. It hits different. So I would love to see it happen. It's not going to happen, and that's fine. It's okay. But
They,
I agree.
the
Nike,
commercials
Nike's.
would be better. They would have a
Nike campaign would
nickname
be amazing.
for him. They would. It just would.
It's like I
Yeah.
agree.
You see
I agree
Reaper
with you guys.
shirts. I mean, you see all the stuff, dog.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
I
you
like
guys.
patch shoes.
I agree with you guys. But my thing is this: I think Patrick wants to get in a position of where he owns a good amount of stake in Adidas, like how Steph Curry owns a good amount of stake in Under Armour. So he basically got his
See,
own brand to an extent now. So
You don't think that he would have a signature line and have a lifetime type of contract with Nike if he was a Nike athlete?
he maybe, but Nike got a lot of great athletes on a
Of course.
line. You know what I'm
but
saying?
I mean, they got a lot of great basketball players, but everybody ain't got LeBron stuff.
it's a
That's true.
difference. It's a
And
difference.
they got a lot of tennis players, but everybody ain't got Serena. So
If
it's a
you
little
if you
different.
have Pat Mahomes, he is the Tiger Woods of football. He would be Tiger Woods.
He would.
Yeah, he really would.
You can start it. You can build. Nike's not even. I don't even know what Nike do in football, but they can start a whole football line around Pat Mahomes.
They could, because they did just drop Tiger
Who
Woods.
better?
They did just drop Tiger Woods from golf. You know, they did just they really should just
Tiger Woods got a whole golf. Tiger Woods made $2 billion, and it was like, all right, Nike, thank you. Ain't nobody gonna buy Tiger Woods shoes after he leaves Nike. You see what happened to Dwayne Wade when he lost Nike? Nobody wear Dwayne Wade shoes no more.
That's
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you. I agree.
I think Pat and KU should both be with Nike. I'm sorry. Adidas ain't it, bro. I'm sorry. Adidas.
I mean,
Well,
It's
D
just
man,
not.
D man, they already
everybody
hung
can't be
out.
Stop it,
Mizzou,
bro.
man. It is
Stop
what
it,
it is.
bro.
Everybody can't be Mizzou. It is what it is, dog.
Yeah, I mean, D man, they already hung out before anyway. I mean, I ain't really sure about that. So it is what it is.
Omar, that is not true at all. I promise you.
Yeah.
But
Not
I
at
want to talk
Nobody.
about. Can we talk about the other star on the team though? Travis Kelce. Listen, this is my PSA. This doesn't reflect on anybody else in Kingdom Cast right now. Travis,
That's wild right there. I'm sorry. That is wild.
Stevie crazy.
That's
Y'all
a
gonna say
wild.
that you gotta say he got put out some Ewings next.
Damn.
That's wild. But anyway, man, this is my PSA. Travis, please put on the yellow gloves for the rest of the playoffs. Please. Please. That's where your superpowers are at. The yellow gloves. All them drops you had last night, bro. No, do not break the routine, dog. Put on the yellow gloves. Where they at, dog?
Pat got to throw them balls a little better too, man. He
Only one
shouldn't
of
have to
those.
jump on all
Only
of them.
one of
Only one
and
of
some of
those.
this,
Only one of
yeah.
those. I'll excuse.
They went zero blitz. They had Trav came across in the dig. Mahomes probably should have let this ball go a little bit earlier, so it was out in front of him. He was able to run, and that would have been a touchdown had he done it. Ultimately, the pass was still high and behind him, which was obviously unfortunate from that perspective. Ultimately, you'd like Travis Kelce to make that pass and Mahomes to make a better pass or catch that pass and Mahomes to throw a better ball from that perspective. But yeah, I think Kelce had a few drops, and this is unfortunately something that we have seen from Kelce in the past as far as playoff games are concerned. If there's drop one or two, it just happens. But we talk about better competition up to come. That has to change, obviously, because you're not going to be able to be afforded those type of drops versus better defense. When you get those opportunities, you have to take advantage of them.
But you see how Travis drops balls and it's like 14 excuses, and then McCole drops the ball and it's like he just sucks as a football player. Like somebody said that earlier in the comment. Like it's like I know.
The problem is this:
I get
he didn't even get himself in a position to drop the football. That was the issue. I mean, it was whether it was tracking or a lack of effort. That's the real issue. It's one thing as far as the actual drops are concerned. At least you're putting yourself in position. At a certain time, Miko gave up on a few of those plays, which you can't have. So
at least with Travis, he runs through the route. I mean, he finishes the route. It's just him. He's flat out dropping the ball, man. Like, listen, just put on the yellow gloves, Travis, please, for me. Everybody else in Chiefs Kingdom. That's where your superpowers are, dog.
Yeah,
by the way,
definitely needs yellow gloves.
I'm glad for you guys reminding me. So obviously with the win last night, Mahomes passed up Aaron Rodgers, Troy Aikman, and Roger Staubach for all-time quarterback playoff run. Shout out to Joe Flacco.
Hi,
Joe,
Troy. Troy. Hi, Troy. Hi.
Who?
Yes,
The white Jay-Z?
yeah. Mr. 33% himself. And so so Favre, Big Ben, Peyton, John Elway, Terry Bradshaw, all those guys are within striking distance. If Mahomes were to finish off this run with the Super Bowl championship, he would be third all time in quarterback playoff wins before the age of 30, which is just insane to say.
In 6 years.
Yes.
He's only 28. He's only 28.
Hey, Kansas City, you are blessed right now.
Blessed.
This run that we are on, bro, you are actually living in history right now.
Single-handedly got our playoff record back to 500.
Crazy. Mitch Holtz was about to throw a parade about that. He was like, I'm 13-13. I'm not defending McCall. I'm just saying that sometimes the slander isn't the same. It doesn't match up. But I get it, though. I get it.
Yeah, Chris Jones is definitely about to beat his ass for not finishing.
Yeah, that's
that post.
Yeah, I saw
that. Hey, man, like Pat is, man, we living in history right now, bro. We in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes you got to recognize that because sometimes you don't realize it till it's like to you 6 and 10, and you're like, damn, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to be the bomb, but now we not. You know, I'm not. Stop it, Ross. Stop.
I gotta stop. I gotta go, y'all. But again, make sure y'all check it out. I'll tell the truth on Wednesday. Be back on King Kast on Thursday.
Tell the truth.
It'll be easy.
Yes, sir.
All right, D-Mac. Appreciate you.
I almost made D-Mac bring the ski mask because I wanted to see it again.
Yeah, they looked pretty comfortable in the end.
I was just hoping for a pick six for Sneed. That would have just really capped off the night so well.
I thought Sneed was about to get the next one, dog, because me and CJ, we both agreed that Mike Evers was going to get a pick this game. He did it. And then I said, Sneed going to get the next one. And Sneed almost did it a few times. Like, you remember that one when him and Trent doubled Tyreek and Tua took a shot in the end zone and Sneed tried to snag with one hand?
Bro, if he would have caught that.
That's Sports Center. That's number one on Sports Center. That's number one on Sports Center easily.
Yeah, he's the number one topic on Sports Center, Nightcap, Uncle Shay, First Take, all that good stuff. If you would have caught that, you would have seen that play all over the league, all over TV today. You know what? At this point, who cares?
Who cares? We just gotta wait a little longer. He will.
Josh Allen will throw him one, man. Josh Allen will throw him one.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to be a good. Hey, when McDuffie finally get his interception, it has to be a good one. It has to be a pick six. It has to be. It can't just be a pick and he falls to the ground getting it. It has to be either like what Sneed almost pulled off last night, or it has to be like a 100-yard pick six to the house as a game winner for your first.
You said a game winner.
Or, hey, Jalen Watson, first pick was a pick six on Justin Herbert versus the Chargers.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily win us the game, but it kind of like won us the game.
Nah, that definitely helped us win the game. I was at that game. That was crucial. That was a crucial interception. They was driving. Wow. Okay, pause. Yeah.
Hey man, McColl's gonna redeem himself, man. I believe in it. I believe in it. But hey man, great game. I felt positive. I felt like this is the best we've seen all year. Stafford knocked out the game.
Yeah, he was holding his back. I saw after that.
Oh shit! Y'all just activated Stafford then.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He don't even start playing till he get hurt.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be back in.
He'll definitely be back. What's the score on that, Omar?
It's 24-20 Detroit right now. Late in the third.
24-20?
Yeah. Man,
Hey,
dog, Green Bay found another quarterback, dog. They can't keep getting away with this. They can't keep getting away with it, dog.
they can because they can't do nothing else.
I don't know.
They
Slow down
gotta
on that.
they
Slow
gotta
down
get
on
better on
that.
their defense. They
Now
can draft them.
they drafted well, dog. They got two legit tight ends. They got a nice young wide receiver core that's only gonna get better. The defense they just need to improve a little bit, and they'll be right back.
Stafford hurt. Oh.
I saw it, Juice. Juice, he'll be all right, bro. He's just need a little treatment. But yeah, bro. But the Packers, man, the brand is back. The brand is back in Green Bay.
So what was your upset of the week? Was it the Cowboys or Cleveland?
I mean, I am Green Bay just because this was Jordan Love's first playoff game. He's brand new to it,
It
So
was at Dallas or Green Bay?
it was in Dallas.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Like he did whatever the hell he wanted, dog. Like him and Eric Jones, they did whatever the hell they wanted in Dallas today. It was really that easy. Like Dallas was very unprepared today.
So is Belichick going to the Cowboys?
I see a lot of people saying that. I don't know. Because, like, Belichick, he got to look himself in the mirror and be like, do you just want to be a coach or do you still want to try to have all the roles? You know what I'm saying? All these different hats.
He's not. We had that conversation, bro. He's too old. Just be the coach.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting power struggle, though. Jerry Jones versus Belichick. That would be prime time, bro.
I mean, it would be. But look, I'm not surprised about Dallas at all, dog. Like, I had Green Bay covering this game. I had Green Bay in the game throughout. You know what I'm saying? Before the kickoff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not surprised it fought the upset. But, I didn't think Dallas would just get their ass beat. That's my thing. I thought it was kind of back and forth in a bit. So.
No, hey, and don't talk too much, Eagles fans, because y'all might be next.
Yeah, they just might, man.
Tampa Bay might be able to. Baker Mayfield probably can be. Nah, never mind. But no, they didn't recover. They weren't supposed to lose this game.
Look, Amaya, the game was over with.
Sorry, Amaya, they weren't
It was
supposed to lose.
48-16. It was 40-16. That game was done with. Dallas ain't recovering nothing. They got their ass whooped.
That was bad, man. Yeah, I don't think Vrabel was I don't think he's a good fit either. He just came from. What? What'd I say? Hey, whatever.
I will say this: the Eagles can win that game if they do run the ball. If they run the ball effectively, they may be able to escape.
Man,
but not having AJ Brown is tough.
I feel bad for two people that we love and Dia Wall and Jay Tuck, man, who are great people and friends of the show, but man, that's a hard W. That's a hard L, man. I mean, you can lose. If you lose 2017, but it was hard fought and they just was, but man, no, bro.
He ain't working with no Dale Jerry Jones. Hell no.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, since I don't like Nick Sirianni, I'm gonna vote him. I don't like him. Carson Wentz.
Here's my thing with Sirianni, man. It's funny how Sirianni was talking all that trash in the tunnel after they beat us, right? And the Eagles immediately fell off a cliff right after that.
Man,
that's just hilarious to me. Like, see, be humble, be humble. Told you to be humble.
Talk that stuff now. Like, who are you? He wasn't even yelling at fans. He was just in the hallway yelling.
Right.
Like, shut up.
That was just so lame. That was so lame of that dude, man.
Man, that's gonna be a very highly rated show when they come back first take.
Yeah, who cares about Stephen A. Smith though? But
oh man.
But yeah, we got the dub, man. It's on to the next round, whoever it is between Houston and Buffalo. Hey, just bring them on, man. We ready for wherever. We can play against anybody, anywhere. Play in the parking lot, play in the yard. It don't matter. We ready.
Facts. Say no snowball fight.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's get to the sponsor and get up out of here, man. So, how much today? You order stuff for $100 or more, you get $20 off. Next thing, we got the standard go-to collection. The very next thing, you still got your Tecmo Bowl collection. You still got that going on. It may have a few Chiefs t-shirts. You got your Slam Dunk collection with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the kids. You got your Crest sweatshirts. They're back. They're vintage. They nice and clean. You got the NBA Grateful Dead collaboration. And MLK Day is tomorrow. So if you want to go ahead and copy you a shirt, honor MLK. I believe the shirts say "I have a dream" on them. I think all of them have that message. So there's that. Go and copy some gear and pay homage.
Pay homage. And then he cried during the national anthem. Tough guys don't cry during the national anthem. Suckers cry during the national anthem.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple shout outs. My grandmother's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you. Friend of the show, Rip. My boy Robert, Rip, man, got the engagement today. Congratulations, homie. You definitely outkicked your coverage, bro.
Facts.
Stafford is out. Well, I have a dream the Steelers will win.
Hey, listen, they a live dog tomorrow. I mean, the Bills are a huge favorite. I mean, Steelers, they could be a live dog. So we're gonna keep a close eye on that game.
We doing a mercy podcast if they lose.
Hey, dog, I'm in the Bill space immediately for a little bit before we go live.
Buffalo lose, we going live right afterwards. Gonna be.
Oh man, it's funny. Is this funny?
Live. What the hell happened?
Because you know what's funny? I was in the Bill space after they lost to the Broncos on Monday night. And everybody in there thought their season was done with. Everybody thought their season was cooked. But now they back all of a sudden.
How fitting would it be? And we can leave after this.
Okay.
Kansas City gave y'all life to get back in the playoffs. And then y'all life was then ended by Kansas City in the playoffs. Sounds like justice to me, man.
Yes. Get my evil laugh.
Out.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on social media platforms. Till the next episode, Chiefs Kingdom. It's on the divisional round. We out, baby.